Dear listeners, I welcome you to my channel. Leave your comments and impressions, I value your opinion. I stand in the doorway, keys in hand, frozen by the echo of her accusation. You're a liar and a cheater who has ruined our lives with the kids. Emily's words sting like a slap across my face. Her eyes blaze with an intensity I've never seen before, her chest heaving with every sharp breath. But Emily, what are you talking about? My voice breaks, confusion mingling with growing dread. Where is this coming from? Don't play dumb with me, Sarah. She thrusts her phone towards me, the screen lit up with messages. Messages I've never seen, conversations I've never had. I've seen everything. Or should I say, someone showed me everything. I squint at the garbled texts, the words blurring as my mind races. They're vile, intimate exchanges with someone named Alex. Except, I don't know any Alex. My heart pounds, a mix of anger and panic setting in. Emily, I swear, I don't know any Alex. This isn't me. Her laugh is cold, bitter. Right, and next you'll tell me this is some sort of mistake or... It is a mistake. I insist, stepping closer, my hands reaching out in a plea. But she recoils, as if my touch could tame her. No, the only mistake was ever trusting you. She turns away, her shoulders rigid. I need space. I can't look at you right now. The door slams behind her, leaving me in a silence that pounds louder than our words. I sink to the floor, the chill of the tile creeping into my bones. This can't be happening. It feels like a nightmare. Yet the sting of her words, the look of utter betrayal in her eyes, it's all painfully real. As hours trickle by, the house grows dark around me. The silence is suffocating, pushing me towards a decision. I need answers. I need to know who's behind those messages, why they're targeting us. With trembling fingers, I pick up Emily's iPad. She's meticulous, her passwords a series of predictable patterns, but tonight, they elude me. I try birthdays, anniversaries, the usual suspects until, finally, the screen unlocks. I dive into her emails, social media, anything that might reveal a clue about Alex or why someone would frame me like this. But it's clean, too clean, and that itself is suspicious. How can there not be a single trace? Then it hits me. If someone sent these messages to Emily, perhaps they covered their tracks by contacting her another way. Maybe it's not about finding evidence in her accounts, but rather in her movements. I pull up the GPS app we use to keep track of each other, a safety measure turned sleuthing tool. Her recent locations paint a curious picture. Late-night visits to an address on the outskirts of town, far from her usual haunts. My heart races as I grab my keys, a plan forming. If I want answers, I need to see for myself what she's hiding. Slipping into my coat, I step into the cool night air, the address etched in my mind. The drive is long, each mile stretching longer under the weight of my thoughts. When I finally arrive, the place is a nondescript building, dimly lit and deserted. I kill the engine and wait watching. Hours pass, the moon tracing its path across the sky until, finally, a figure emerges. It's Emily, but not the Emily I know. This one looks around nervously, a hood drawn tight around her face, her posture tense as she quickly walks to a waiting car. My breath catches. This isn't an affair. This is something else, something darker. As the car pulls away, I follow at a distance, my mind reeling. What secrets is Emily hiding? And how far am I willing to go to uncover them? As the city lights blur past, one thing becomes clear. I'm not just chasing my wife. I'm chasing the truth, however harrowing it might be. The hum of my car's engine is the only sound as I trail the mysterious vehicle. Its taillights flicker through the night like warning beacons, urging me to turn back. But I can't. Not now. Not when every fiber of my being screams that something is deeply wrong. As we weave through the city, the streets become more familiar, and a sinking feeling settles in my stomach. They're heading towards the Rusty Anchor, a rundown bar on the east side of town, known for its shady clientele and even shadier transactions. I've only heard of it through whispered rumors and news segments that skirt around the darker tales. I park a block away, my hands shaking as I kill the engine. The night air is brisk, biting at my skin as I edge closer to the bar, my heart pounding in my ears. The front of the Rusty Anchor is dimly lit, the neon sign flickering with a lazy buzz. I slip into the shadows, my eyes fixed on the entrance. Emily and her companion, a tall, broad-shouldered figure, disappear inside without a backward glance. I wait, unsure of my next move. Just as I decide to get closer, a hand clamps down on my shoulder, spinning me around. Lost? Are we? The man's voice is gruff, his breath tinged with the smell of cigarettes and cheap alcohol. I stumble back, heart racing. I'm just waiting for someone. He squints at me, his gaze piercing. Not the best place for a meetup, if you ask me. Before I can respond, the door to the bar swings open, spilling light and loud music onto the street. Emily's companion steps out, his face now visible, a rugged mask of indifference. You coming or what? He calls over to the man holding me. Yeah. Just found a stray, the man grunts, pushing me slightly forward. She says she's waiting for someone. The companion's eyes flick to me, then away, disinterested. Keep it outside. We have business to attend to. They disappear inside, leaving me with the gruff man, his grip still firm on my shoulder. Look, I don't want any trouble, I say, my voice steady despite my racing heart. He chuckles darkly. Trouble's already found you, sweetheart. In a bold move, I twist out of his grasp and dart towards the entrance. I catch the door before it closes fully, slipping inside under the cover of shadows. The interior of the rusty Anchor is a cacophony of noises and smells, tobacco, sweat, and spilled beer. I spot Emily sitting in a booth at the back, her face serious as she talks to the rugged man and another, older gentleman with steel-gray hair and a calculating look. I make my way to the bar, keeping my head down, and order a drink. The bartender, a wiry woman with sharp eyes, gives me a once-over but says nothing, sliding a beer towards me. From my vantage point, I strain to catch snippets of their conversation. Not sure she suspects anything, Emily's voice floats over the din. The older man responds, his voice a low rumble. It doesn't matter. We proceed as planned. Are the documents ready? Yes, everything's set for Thursday night. Documents? My mind races. What are they planning? As I mull over the bits and pieces of their discussion, a plan begins to form. I need more information, and I need to be careful. Sliding off the bar stool, I edge closer to their booth, pretending to be on the phone. And make sure the shipment is on time, the rugged man says, his eyes scanning a small notepad. Emily nods, jotting something down in her own notebook. I'm so focused on their words that I don't notice the wiry bartender approaching until she's right beside me. You're not just here for the drinks, are you? She whispers, a knowing look in her eyes. Caught off guard, I stammer. I. Relax, she says, her voice low. You're not the only one with an interest in that group. My heart skips a beat. What do you mean? She nods towards a corner of the bar. Meet me in the back in 5. I might have some information for you. As she walks away, I'm left wondering who she is and what she knows. But one thing is clear. I'm not the only one playing a dangerous game tonight. The dimly lit hallway behind the bar smells of old wood and stale beer. I tread softly, my heart thudding in my chest as I approach the designated meeting spot. The wiry bartender, whose name tag reads Joe, waits by a back door, her expression serious. You made the right call coming back here, Joe murmurs, her eyes scanning the shadows. You're tangled up in something bigger than you realize. I nod, swallowing hard. I need to understand what's going on. Why would they frame me? What are they planning? Joe leans closer, her voice a whisper. The group your wife is involved with, they're not just small time. We're talking about serious illegal activities, smuggling, forged documents, and that's just scratching the surface. My stomach churns with anxiety. Emily, is she involved? It looks like she's more than just involved. Joe glances towards the door leading back to the bar. She's been seen with Marco Vidal. Heard of him? The name sends a chill down my spine. Marco Vidal, a notorious figure linked to several criminal networks in the city. Yes, I know who he is. But Emily, she's been playing a dangerous game. And now, it seems you are too, Joe says, her gaze piercing. Listen, I've got something that might help you. A way to listen in on their next meeting. She hands me a small black device. It's a bug. Place it under their table and you'll know everything they plan. Taking the bug, I feel the weight of it in my hand. Not just the physical weight, but the weight of what it represents. How can I trust you? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. You don't have to trust me, Joe says, her eyes softening slightly. But you don't have many options, do you? She's right. I'm out of options and out of time. Okay, I'll do it. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, she replies, a grim tone to her voice. Just be careful. They're dangerous, and they're not above silencing threats. Armed with the bug and a pounding sense of urgency, I return to the bar. The noise hits me like a wave, but I focus on the task at hand. Emily and her companions are still huddled in their booth, their conversation low and intense. I slide past, pretending to stumble slightly as I pass their table. It gives me just enough cover to discreetly place the bug under the edge of the table, the sticky tape affixed to its underside securing it in place. As I straighten up and move away, my heart races. I've done it. Now all I need to do is wait and listen. Back at the bar, I order another drink to blend in, my eyes never straying far from Emily's booth. After what feels like an eternity, they start to disperse. Emily rises, her movements deliberate, and she scans the room. Our eyes meet for a brief moment, and I see a flicker of something, guilt, anger, it's hard to tell. Once they've left, I hurry out, avoiding any unnecessary attention. In the safety of my car, I pull out my phone and connect it to the bug's receiver. The voices come through, a mix of static and hushed tones. The shipment must be moved tonight. Are the routes clear? It's Emily's voice, sharp and commanding. Another voice responds, deeper, likely Marco's. Yes, and there's an extra precaution in place. We can't afford any slip-ups. My hands tremble as I listen, the reality of Emily's involvement crashing down around me. What started as a desperate search for truth is now a dive into the depths of betrayal and crime. I drive home, the recordings playing over and over. There's enough evidence to go to the police, but can I expose the woman I love? As the city lights blur past, I realize there's no turning back. I have to see this through for better or worse. The night is quiet, too quiet, as I sit in my living room, the recordings laid out in front of me like a deck of cards that could topple at any moment. The voices from the bug play in a continuous loop, each word a nail in the coffin of the life I thought I knew. I must have listened to the tape a dozen times, each playback unraveling more of my resolve. It's late when my phone buzzes, a message lighting up the screen in the dim room. It's from Emily. Meet me at the pier. Midnight. We need to talk. My stomach knots as I read her words. The pier at midnight. Nothing about this sounds like it will end well. But I have to face her, have to confront the web of lies between us. I arrive early, the mist from the ocean wrapping around me like a cold embrace. The pier is deserted, the rhythmic crash of the waves against the pilings the only sound. I see her then, a solitary figure standing at the far end, staring out over the railing into the dark water below. Emily. I call out, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. She turns, her face pale in the moonlight, her eyes searching mine. Sarah, I'm sorry you got dragged into this. I step closer, the recordings heavy in my pocket. I heard the tapes, I know everything. She sighs, a sound of defeat. I never wanted you to find out. Not like this. Then why? Why involve me at all? My voice breaks, the hurt too raw to contain. It was never about involving you. It was about protecting you, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. Protecting me? By letting them think I was involved? By letting me think you were betraying me? I can't hide the incredulity in my voice. She turns away, her shoulders slumped. It started out small, just a few favors for Marco because he had something on me. But it grew, and when they started suspecting someone was leaking information, I had to make them think it was you. They never go after the spouses directly, it's a code they have. I thought you'd be safe if I shifted their focus. I'm stunned, my mind struggling to process her words. So you used me as a decoy? What were they holding over you, Em? Her face crumples, and when she speaks, her voice is filled with despair. My sister Anna. They have her, Sarah. She got in too deep, and they took her. I've been trying to buy her freedom. The pieces fall into place, a puzzle of blackmail and desperation. Where is she, Emily? We can go to the police. We can get her out. It's not that simple, Emily replies, pulling out her own phone. I've arranged for her release tonight because of the shipment. It's why I asked you here. I needed to know you'd understand, that maybe you forgive me. Before I can answer, headlights beam from the end of the pier, a van pulling up with a screech. Two figures step out, dragging a third between them. It's Anna, disheveled and limping but alive. Emily moves to go to her, but I grab her arm, holding her back. Wait, the police need to handle this. No. There's no time, she says, pulling free. They won't wait around. I make a decision then, pulling out my phone to dial 911, even as I follow Emily to the exchange. We meet halfway, the smugglers wary as they see me. Who's this? One growls, eyeing me suspiciously. My insurance, Emily responds quickly. She's here to make sure everything goes smoothly. As they untie Anna, letting her stumble into Emily's arms, sirens wail in the distance, growing louder. The smugglers panic, scrambling back to their van, but the police are quicker. They swarm the pier, securing the area, taking the smugglers into custody without firing a shot. In the chaos, I rush to Emily and Anna, embracing them both. The relief is palpable, but so is the pain of betrayal and deceit. As dawn breaks, washing the night away, Emily looks at me, tears in her eyes. I'm sorry, Sarah. For everything. I nod, holding her gaze. We'll get through this together. But no more secrets, Emily. Never again. The police begin to take our statements, and as the sun lifts higher, casting light on the dark water, I feel the weight of the night begin to lift. We were broken, maybe still are, but like the dawn, there's hope for what comes next.